Okay. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'm Lauren, the social media doctor. We are getting started in about a minute, but I will talk through until then. So if you are new here, thank you for being here. And if you are a recurring client, thanks for being here as well. At the top, you can find the little chat bubble, the Q&A bubble. So if you have any questions or you just want to say something throughout the whole webinar, you can do that up top. It might be on the bottom if you're on your phone or your iPad, but it is on top for me. Okay. Okay. One more second. We have a few people that haven't logged in yet. I just want to make sure everyone is here and ready to go. Okay, so because I have a new computer and I didn't do the proper steps of sharing my screen, can you guys go ahead and write in that chat bubble and tell me if you see my screen just before I get started today? It would be very helpful. Just do like a thumbs up or just say that you see my screen. Okay. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. I am Lauren, again, for the new people that are just logging in. I'm the social media doctor, and today we are going over Canva for beginners. So throughout the whole webinar, you can go ahead and click in and you can ask questions. And sorry, I have one text. Let me just make sure. Oh, let's see. Yeah, sorry, it was one of you guys. I just wanted to make sure everything was good to go. It says chat is disabled. Let's see. Can you guys see my chat that I sent out? Okay, it should work now. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your help. Okay. Okay, good. I'm sorry. I should have tested this before, but brand new computer over here. Okay, yay. Now everyone can chat. Perfect. All right, so now you can ask questions if you have them throughout the webinar today. So we are doing Canva for beginners, my favorite thing. So what Canva is, if you are brand new to Canva, it is the most amazing graphic design software out there. It's so user-friendly. If you are someone that wants to make your own content on social media, your own graphics, or even if you just want to learn how to send out cards to people and you want it to be custom, like you made it, this is the place for it. You can make business cards, you can do social media cover photos, you can do flyers, posters, presentations, anything print. You can do t-shirts design, you can do anything. You can do anything here. If it's graphic, you can make it here. So that's why I like it so much. And it is basically a place where anyone can create. So it's not like Illustrator where you have to like actually have knowledge and training to be able to use it. It's very user-friendly. So let's see, we have our first question. Can we get a copy of the recording afterward? Yes, this is recorded and it's going to be sent out to everyone at the end of the class today. So if you have to leave early, don't worry, it's going to be sent to you. So when you open up Canva, this is going to be your home screen. This is where you can find basically all of your projects that you're working on, or you can get ideas of a design that you might want to create, or you can just kind of scroll around and see what you have. There are two versions of Canva. There's a Canva Pro, there's a Canva Free. I have the Canva Pro, so you're going to see all of my features showing in Pro. You can still get some of the Pro features if you are wanting to pay, like, I think separately for each one, if you're like downloading elements. But if it were me, I would say the one thing I would pay for my business is Canva Pro, because it's totally worth it. as I'm going through the beginner's steps today, I'll show you pro versus free. And so basically what you'll see is like over here, you'll see this little crown. When you see a crown, that means it's a pro feature. And if you don't see a crown, that means everyone can use it. So on the home screen, scrolling down, it's just going to show you a bunch of different templates that you can use to create whatever you want. So if you wanted to create something and you didn't want to just start from a blank screen, this is kind of like the best place to go to like look up and get some inspiration. You can type in here to try to find something either in your templates or, sorry, in your projects or their templates. This also right here is going to show you all of the different template sizes. So basically when you see things that say like social media, video, websites, it means that it's going to show you a template in that size. So what that means is if I click social media, I can see all of the templates that are the square size. I can see them when they're the story size and so on and so forth. So you can kind of click through here and see things based on like the topic of what you're trying to create. And it's kind of cool because sometimes it has these little like tips to try to make things look better for you. So I like to click through here sometimes when I'm in like a creative funk and I just need like that extra little boost to figure out what it is that I want to make. If you click on more, it's going to give you thousands of different ones to see. So that is what you're seeing on that very front home screen. Now on the left side, we're going to go over that pretty quickly. You don't really need too much of that because we are doing the basic beginners, but I will tell you what they are. So if you do want to like continue on and like explore for yourself later on today or something, you have a little bit more knowledge of it. So the left side is going to show you templates. It's basically just like what we were showing before, but it's more of, it just shows more. So you can come through here and you can see more ideas of things to click through, just like what I showed you before. And then you can go by topic, which is kind of cool. They have like drop downs and you can see the more in-depth topics. The next thing down, let's go back, is projects. This is just going to be like what you personally are working on. So if you click into it, it's going to show you like what I'm working on. And then the next one down is brands. So this is a pro feature, but this is by far my favorite feature. So I'm still going to tell you about it. So this is something that for me, at least, because I work with different businesses often. So when I'm working with a brand at that time, I'll come in here and I'll put in their logo, I'll put in their brand colors, and then I'll be able to go and create their content a whole lot quicker than just having to put in the color every single time. And I'll get more into that once we get into it, but this is basically where you would find like your logos for your own business, logos that you use often, or logos for clients, for me at least. Over here is where my uploaded fonts are. This is another thing that is a pro feature, but I can find fonts for free on the internet or paid and download them and upload them right here so that I can use them on all of my graphics. Brand colors, just like I talked about, this is where you would go and post them. In the world of colors, every color has a code. That code is called a hex code. And all of these colors that you see all have different codes. So basically I put them in here when I'm working with someone so that I can go in quickly and be able to change out colors in my graphic instead of having to take that little hex code that you see and re-input it every single time onto my color wheel when I'm creating. So it just makes things a lot quicker for me. Over here is design approvals. That's if you're on a team and you like have to approve designs from other people. This is the content planner. This is another pro feature. I actually just stumbled upon this recently. I knew it was there, but I never like went through it. It's actually pretty cool. So I would definitely check it out if you have a pro account and you are kind of lost for an idea of what to post. It'll show you not every day, but every couple days, like the holidays of the month. And I say holidays because it's not like the federal ones. It's like Cheese Lovers Day or Opposite Day. So it's like the fun ones and the real ones. And when you click on them, it will give you different templates and different template sizes. So you can choose if you want to use any of them to edit, to make it your own, and then post. So it's nice and easy. So you're not like, okay, I need to go on Google and search for what holiday is coming up. It's just kind of all right here and ready to go. Then, and if you wanted to, you could schedule out your own content. If you wanted it to post from here, to go to like Instagram and Facebook at the same time. I don't do that, and I would never recommend someone else to do that. But if you want to, you can. And I'll tell you, it just is because when you post from third-party apps, Facebook, Meta, so that is Facebook and Instagram, that it hates it. So it'll like push your post down in the algorithm. Very fun. So I don't do that. Discover apps. This is getting a lot more advanced, but basically when you're in there and making graphics, there's a lot of like extra add-on apps that you can pull in to like bring certain things extra to your graphic. But again, that's a little more advanced. So if you did want to come through here and kind of mess around, you can see the different things that it has. There's like the background remover, which is actually more easy. I use it on everything. Shadows I use a lot. If you have like some of your content in Google Drive, you want to pull it in from there. And yeah, so you can kind of go through that. But again, a little more advanced, so I'm not doing that today. And then smart mockups. So this is going to show you, like, let's say you sell shirts on Etsy and you made a design and you want to show what it looks like on a water bottle, on a shirt, on a whatever you're making. You can come in here and find different little mockups that you can use as like your product image on Etsy or whatever site you're selling on. Then let's go back to home. So the next thing, move my face, is in this top right corner. Oh, I need to update the app. Okay. In this top right corner, it's going to show you the purple create a design. I'm actually going to stop real quick and I'm going to tell you one thing. I am in the Canva app on my iMac. So it won't look totally different, but you're probably thinking like, where's your Safari? There is an app for your computer, not just your phone and your iPad. So that's kind of fun. So yeah, that is what I'm in. So if you wanted to download that, you can go to Google and type in like Canva computer download, and you can download it for Apple or PC. Okay, anyways, up in this top right corner, we have the purple little create a design button. And we can click on that, and that is where we will go to kind of start our blank canvas. So the one I normally use is like the square size or the story size for Instagram. That's kind of my go-to, and it's just my most frequently used items. You can scroll through here and see all of them. You can also type in the search bar and look up certain things. You can bring in a custom size. So if you have like a custom business card size you want to print on or something like that, you can enter that information by clicking that and putting it in there. You can edit a photo, meaning like you bring in a photo and it automatically pulls that size of the photo, and you can like add stuff on top of it instead of choosing a size and dragging the photo into that, and then it's kind of cropped. And then we have import a file, and that's like if you're bringing in a PDF and you want to edit that PDF, you would do that here. So let's go ahead and just choose the Instagram story. And now you have your blank canvas. Okay. So what you're going to see here on the left-hand side is basically everything you need to create your masterpiece on the main screen. So you are going to start with design, and under design, that's where you'll find your templates and your styles. Now, well, okay, so let's start with templates. The templates are, like we talked about before, Canva creates so many templates, and you can use anything that you see, and anything that you see over here, you can edit every single aspect of it simply by deleting, dragging in new pictures, changing colors on things. And yes, I'm going fast. I was just showing you an example. So that is what a template is. Everything that you see over here is something that you can edit. Whenever you're scrolling over these templates, remember when you see that crown, that means it's a pro feature. When you don't see the crown, that is a free template. So just keep that in mind. Another little hack of mine is like, if you are doing the free version and let's say you're like, oh, but I just love this one, you can actually kind of click through here and figure out on your own if you really want to, what is pro, as far as like the elements, because it's not the layout that's pro, it's like the little elements that they provide. So you'll see up here in the corner, the share button, whenever you're on a free version, it'll say like you have to pay to use it. Normally, if it's like a photo, like a stock image, it'll have like Canva written across it. And that means that's the pro feature. And you simply just go and like delete it. And then you can use it by adding in your own stuff. Or let's say it's the snowflakes. You can go in and delete that. And then you can add in your own snowflakes that are under the free elements. So that's just like a little hack that I like to use. Okay, so going through here, again, Crown is pro, non-Crown is free. You'll also see this little play button, and this is going to show you like a video template, which there's tons of them, but it's showing up because this is a story size, so it's giving you the option of like, oh, maybe you want a template of a video. Okay, but I don't, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, going over to styles. Styles is kind of like we just talked about before over here in the templates. Styles is like where you can go, not templates, over here in the brand where I showed you like the colors and the fonts. Right here, styles. This is one of my favorite features, like I said before, because it is so, excuse me, so simple to be able to like change all of my colors at one time instead of having to click into things, change it with a hex code and over, no. So it'll show you kind of like this layout of like the color brands that you have in there right now. So here's mine. So basically I can click on this. It's going to change all of the colors that you see on the screen, and I can keep clicking it and it's going to shuffle through my colors and automatically change the colors on the screen. Amazing. So it's like what we were just doing before. We get a random template. We're like, okay, love the template, hate the colors, need to make it my own. Come over here to styles, boom, switch it up. Obviously this isn't changing too much because that's a backdrop, but now you see. Okay. Now this is the pro feature part of it. I'm pretty sure you guys still have access to these down here. If you don't in the free version, let me know. I am not sure about that one. It used to be a pro feature, but I think since they redid it, you might have access to this down here. So this is pretty much the same thing as this, except for it's from Canva. So you could go to color palettes, hit see all, and you can see all these different color palettes. And when you click them, just like before, when I used my brand colors, you can click through these and it's going to change your colors over and over as long as you keep clicking. Totally different color combinations. I love using these when I'm kind of in a funk and like trying to figure out if I want to switch up colors or what. I come in here and I just mess around with this over and over. It's the best. Next thing, just like the color palettes, we have the font set. So up here, I have my brand fonts. So if I wanted to do my fonts, I could just click on those. It doesn't change it too much because I have mine set in stone of where I like them. But for these, you could do the font. Let me open it up. You can do the font combos. So it's just going to keep going and changing your font combos. Okay, we have a question. If I choose a style for branding, where do I get the hex numbers? Okay, great question. Fantastic question. So when you are trying to find your hex codes, let's say you are working for a broker or a mortgage company and they have like set brand colors, you can always ask the broker or someone in marketing to send you those hex codes and they'll know what you're talking about and they'll give them to you. If you want to create your own, or let's say you have like a Pinterest photo that you want to like go and look for colors on, let's look. I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to share my Safari. 1 second. So I have like 10 different desktops open. Okay, here we are. Let's go. Okay. Sharing my screen. So in Safari, when my toolbar goes away, there we go. I'm going to type in find hex code just in my search bar. And I like to use this one called imagecolorpicker.com. Click it. I've used this one for years. It kind of looks like you're going to get a virus from it, but I've used it for years and I've been fine. So just FYI. You can come in here and upload a picture to get the hex code. So now you're thinking, okay, well, I need to find a picture. Let me go to Pinterest and I will quickly just grab an image to show you. Okay, so let's say let's say I like these colors. So I'm going to right click and save it. Then I'm going to go back over to imagecolorpicker.com. I'm going to use your own image and I'm going to drag or drop it, or I'm going to upload it from my desktop. And now it has that photo. So all I'm going to do is just hover over the colors that I like. Let's say I like the yellow. I just hover over it and click it. It pulls that color code for me right here. This is advanced, so just bear with me for a second, okay? Okay, so we have the hex code. Let's say this is the color that we want. I'm going to take that, copy it. Now I'm going to go back in. Sorry, I got to switch screens now. Back into my Canva app. Now I'm going to click somewhere on the screen that has the color to pull it up. Up here, this is like my Microsoft toolbar. This is where I edit my colors, edit my fonts, and all that. So clicking on the color that we clicked on the screen, we're going to click on this add a new color. This plus button with like a rainbow around it. This is going to show you that you can paste your color right there. And then boom, now you have a color. That's how you find hex codes. And I will send you guys after this, like in the email with the recording, I'm going to send you this link so that you have that as well to be able to send out. Let's see. One more chat. Okay. Okay, perfect. So cool. So back to font sets. So basically you click on here, change the colors or change the fonts. And now we're going back out of this. So that hex code that we just got, if we were to like want to use that for a brand, we would have to come back over to like our home screen, click on brand and add it over here to whatever color palette you're working on. Or if you wanted a new one, you'd hit add, and then you would add a custom color palette or use one that they have. You can kind of scroll through and like type in names and they can give you color palettes. It's very nice. You can add in a new one, hit that plus sign, paste that code, and then name it so you know what you're working with. And then you come back into here. This would have to update because I obviously just put that in there. And I don't even, let me see. I don't think I can update it on the Canva app. Normally I would just like refresh it on Safari, but I'm on the app, so I can't do it right now. But next time you would come into it, let's see. You would be able to see it. Not that one. This is the only thing I don't necessarily like as much about the Canva app is like I can't really refresh my screen. So I'm actually going to go and do this on Safari. So let me open this up bigger for you. Okay, so nope. Okay, so let's go back to what we were working on. I know I forgot what I was looking for to show you guys. Oh, okay, we were updating the styles. So now it'll show you just one because we only added one color. But if we were to go in and add multiple colors onto that brand that we were creating, you know, you can drag and find colors if you wanted to. And do something like that. Now come back over here. I'm going to refresh my screen. Go back into styles. And now you see that color palette that we just created. And we just kind of click through it. And now we have a color palette. It's the best thing ever, I'm telling you. Okay. So done with templates, done with styles. Unless we have any questions, I'm going to go move on to the next one, which is elements. Any questions? Good. Okay. So elements. Basically, this is where anything that you see on the screen that is like an object, you're going to find it over here in elements. This is going to be your recently used. So we are going to scroll past that. In the search bar, this is where you can search for specific things. You can also go through here and click on lines and shapes and like kind of just hit the see all button next to the graphics that you see. And it'll give you more like ideas, not just like things you're searching specifically. Like, let's say you were searching a house, it would show you everything about a house. But if you scroll down, it's more of like a gallery to see like the most trendy things or the newest things and stuff like that. So you kind of scroll through here and you can see that. But I don't normally do that. Normally when I come here, I have a purpose and I know what I'm looking for. So I normally type it up here. But we are going to start under lines and shapes. So I'm going to clear this screen just because it's so much easier to teach with a blank screen. Now, under lines and shapes, the only shape you're ever going to need, you're not going to ever have to click into that. You only need this square. Now, the reason why you only need the square is because once it's on the screen, you can hit shape up top and you can change it to everything you just saw. Okay, so you never need anything other than that square. And for the lines, same thing with that. You can change the style of the lines all up here. So let me back it up. Now we have the square on the screen. To make it bigger, to make it smaller, just like every other element, when you have it clicked on, highlighted, you can move things with this little circle on the corners or this little flat looking thing on the sides. If you pull at the corners, it's just going to pull and change the size. If you pull at the sides, this is a mouthful, it's going to make it shorter and taller. It's not going to drag it to be bigger. Now, one of their latest updates, whenever I drag at the corner, it doesn't like keep that solid square, which actually infuriates me. So I'm going to show you a workaround because normally if I'm adding a square to the screen, it's because I need the square, not because I need a rectangle. So bear with me. You're going to hit shift on your keyboard. Then you're going to click on that little circle and it's just going to hold that perfect little square all intact. I don't care if you accidentally went like this. If you hit this, it's going to hold that totally intact when you hit the shift. So let me bring the square back. Okay, shift, side button, drag it, and you'll be able to hold it. Okay, so the next thing, because I just did it and I didn't tell you what I was doing. If you want to delete something from your screen, if you're clicked on an object, you can hit that trash button. Where is the trash button on this? There we go. The trash button up above it, or you can hit delete on your keyboard. I don't normally do the trash button up top. I'm a keyboard like shortcuts person. I don't care to mess around with like trying to find things up top. I like it on the keyboard. Okay, so shift, make it bigger. Okay, another little thing, because I'm giving you hacks as like I'm teaching you the basics. So there's a lot. So I'm sorry if I'm going too fast. When you drag any object around the screen, you see those purple lines that are popping up? That means it's dead center. Okay, so this is centered, but if you get lines from the side and from above, that's dead center. This is not dead center. This is not dead center. This is. This is still centered, but it's not like dead. So if you wanted something along this line, you know, you just kind of move around till you get it. Or if you want the center, just drag it. Purple lines always mean that it's like aligned perfectly. Okay, now moving to the up top part. So we have the word shape. And like I said before, if you click on that, you're going to see all the shapes that you could see on that little toolbar on the side, but we're just going to stick with it in here. You can click on anything that you want and you can use anything that you want. I'm pretty sure, unless you guys tell me otherwise, I've never had anyone say different, that this and all of the shapes are free. These aren't pro features. Okay, now going back to the square. The next thing over is the color. And this is going to show you all of the colors, like the color palettes that I told you. If I'm working with someone, I put it in here. Then I delete it because I don't like normally anything else in here but mine up here. And then up here, these are going to show you the ones you're currently working on in this document. So obviously we have white, we have orange, and then it'll just like throw in black. But it'll change once you add in more items. It just always has like the 3 filled. Down here, these are the default colors. So if you're just looking for colors of the rainbow, you can click that. But honestly, I like to find my own colors. I never ever use these default colors down here. No. So if you're trying to find a new color, I always recommend clicking on this. And if you don't feel like looking for a hex code in a picture, just click on this and drag it around. It's so helpful. You can find every color you could dream of here. And you mess around with this little color bar, and then you move the circle around when you find like the general color that you're looking for. And then you just click out of it. Boom. Okay. Next thing over right here. So what this is this is going to show you your border. Right now, we don't have a border. Right now, it's just a red square. If I click back on it and I bring up the border weight, because right now it's 0. If I bring it up, you see it gives it a border. So normally when I'm doing a border, if I do a border, I'm not really a big fan of it, but if I do one, I never exceed like 3 on the border weight. I just don't. But you can do like totally do whatever you want there. That's just my like opinion of graphics. The next thing down is corner rounding. So if I drag this, you could see how it made it a rounded square instead of the sharp square. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you add in your border weight, see how when I added that, it added an extra little square right here? Okay. All that's doing is when you add in the border weight, it gives you the place to add in the color of the border weight. So you would click on this. It's always going to have that white square in the middle of the border because it's showing you that this is the border. So you can change the color there. Let's see. You can see it better zoomed in. The next thing is another little life hack. This is what I choose to use often. If you want a frame without the inside, you can go back onto the main square color and you can actually click on this with the line through it, and it's going to give you a frame. Now, you can only do this if you have that border weight on. If the border weight's 0, you're getting nothing. Okay, you just got rid of the inside and you have no outside, and there would be no reason for that. So make sure you have your border dragged out. If you want to do something where you have an inside missing, you can even do the corners rounded. And that's another like fun way to kind of get extra little effects on your shapes other than just like a basic square. So I know like what's really trendy is to like take a shape and do another shape on top of it and do like different colors. So this is how people do that, where they're doing like the outline shape on top of each other. It's a trendy little graphic thing. You've probably seen it. Another cool thing with this is with the borders, you can always change like the line texture, I guess you call it. So you can do dash, like the big long dash. Let me zoom in. Or you can do a smaller dash, or you can do dots. And you can make it bigger or smaller. You can also, if you do corner rounded, it still works. So I don't know why you would do that, but it's there. The dashes, that doesn't look too bad, but I don't know why you would do that. That's circle one. Yeah, it's weird, but you can do the dashes. Interesting. I've never done it that big. Okay. Going out of this. Moving on. Next thing is you have your font. So you're probably thinking, well, where is there a font? I'm on a shape. Their newer update that they did a couple months ago basically just gives you a space to, if you want to, add text inside of your shape without having to like go into the text over here and doing a whole different layer. My personal preference is I don't like to do that because I like to be able to have my text separate from my font. And don't worry, I'll go back into this and show you how to do it. But I like it separate because if I want it like in a different location than dead center, I can do that. Also, it just doesn't have like the freedom of like making things bigger quickly, and I don't like that. Like I like to be able to do things quick. And it seems like when I do it straight onto this, it's not as quick. So that seems to be what I am not so much into. Okay. Now, The next thing over, these are all going to be related to the font, and I'm not going over that in the shape. So I will show you when we get to the font, which is in 1 second. Next thing after lines and shapes, you can see the graphics, you can see the stickers. Stickers are the ones that move. Then you have stock images. There's some great stock images. They've been uploading a lot of new ones lately that have kind of definitely upped their game. Before, I would never recommend someone using a stock image here because they're just garbage, but they've been stepping it up. So I'm very proud of them for that. Then you have videos, and again, just like everything else, if you see the crown, it's pro. If you don't see the crown, it's free. They have a lot of free stock videos. Definitely a big fan of that. So you can kind of go through here and like mess around. They're not great, but you know, they're okay enough to use in like a marketing piece. The next thing down is audio. Now, I don't do the audio in here. It basically is like if you're making a video and you want like a specific song playing in the background, which yes, you need that on a reel or a TikTok, but you don't use these audios. You use the audios on the actual app. So I don't use it, but if you wanted to make something that wasn't being posted and maybe emailed, you can do something like adding in a song on here. The next thing is charts. I love doing the pie charts, excuse me, or the bar charts. Any of these are so awesome if you're in the real estate industry and you're like doing like market updates and stuff like that. I love being able to use these for comparison. The cool thing about these charts is you can add in all of your own info. Okay, so you can like click through here, add in everything differently. And if you wanted to go this far, you can even upload a CSV file, which is like Excel, and you just export it as a CSV. It's a different type of file. But you can upload that, or you can upload your Google Sheets, which is amazing, amazing. So if you're someone that has a lot of data that you want to share, I recommend putting it in here to be able to upload into here. So the next thing is going to be settings. When you're on here, you can take off the labels. You can take off the grid lines. Personal preference, I take off the grid lines. I don't like these lines. Like, it's not that deep to have to see a line. And then showing the labels, I take off the labels, and I normally will make my own like down here. If I have time. If I'm doing a quicker one, I'll leave the labels, and then I'll just change like the font to something that I use, because normally the font that it gives you is pretty basic. You can change the colors of the graph. You can change the spacing like in between these guys. You can make it more round, which looks kind of cool. Or more boxy and square. And then again, these are all font related, and I will go over that in a minute. If you are on this, and let's say you put in your data and you're like, actually, I hate this style, I kind of want to fix it or change it. Click up here to this little drop down arrow, and you can go through here and you can try different style charts. Let's see, we have a chat. Can you tell us the most popular font type to use overall in design? You know, we've never gotten that question, and I feel like I can't answer that question because I feel like that it's totally based on like personal preference. And if I said the most popular one, it would only be based on it's because like it's Canva's font, and a lot of people don't know to like upload or change their font. So I can't really tell you that. If you're trying to, maybe if you have like a style you're going for and you want to like let me know, I can tell you kind of like a font that I would choose based on that style, something like that. But I can't really say a most popular one because yeah, there's not really. Got it. Okay, cool. So again, up here, keep going through. You can do pie chart. You can kind of just see how they land on the chart. And okay. Oh, this is fun. So if you are doing something like this scattered plot chart, you can actually change it so it's not the circles. You can do like the diamonds, the triangles, the stars. That's kind of fun. I like the stars. I've never done that. So that's kind of fun to go through. So charts, that's what you get. I'm going to delete it. And going below, you have tables. I don't really have much to say about tables. I don't really use them much, but if you wanted to add a table to your screen, like right here, You can like drag this and find the size you're looking for. You're probably wondering what I just did because I didn't tell you. Okay, on your keyboard, another shortcut, the / on your keyboard is going to give you, okay, come on. It's going to give you the magic tool. The magic tool. So on the magic tool, this is getting a lot more advanced, but I do love this feature, so I'm just going to tell you. But this is going to show you like anything quickly to add into your screen. It's one of their little newer features, but that's where I go to quickly add like a shape or text or table, anything like that to my screen. Okay, the / it looks like that, but it's on your keyboard. So anyways, if you're adding a table, you can click on it and come and do the different like line styles up here, but I've literally never used a table in my life, so I don't really know what you would use a table for. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I've never used it, but if you want to use it, you can. It's there. So frames. Frames are basically where you take a picture and you can input it with the style of frame that you see. So like this one looks like a book. I would use this maybe if I was like advertising a book to sell on Etsy, like a digital book or something. And I can come over here and bring in my pages. And then I guess that's supposed to look like a book. That one's not great. You can do the computer screen, you can do your phone, you can do just anything over here. I use a lot of these a lot. Like when I'm making graphics, I like to use this one a lot. But yeah, so you can kind of go through here and see what you like as far as the frames. When you find something you like, you simply go into your uploads, and that is where you're going to add those images into the screen. You're just dragging and dropping. Okay, going back out of frames. The next one is grids. It's the exact same thing as frames, except for when you click on it, it fills up your full screen. So it's not just like that. Other one is more of like a element style, and then the grid is like a full screen layout. So back into grids, you can kind of go through here. I don't really need to go through every one of these, but find the style you like. This is a good one if you're like maybe doing an Instagram story and you want to like post some quick open house pictures or something. Or you're doing a sale and you want to show different styles of like coffee cups or whatever it is that you're selling. Okay, so that is that as far as the elements. And again, you can go and search whatever you want. One little thing, actually, I didn't go over in elements, is when you are looking up graphics. So you can search whatever you want. When you're looking up a graphic, you can change the colors on your graphics. So most of them. So let's say you see a picture of a house and you're like, okay, I love this. I want to use this one. Obviously, it's white over there, so it's going to be white on the screen. But if you go up to the top, just like before, you can change it. And you can do that. Okay, really? Thanks. Frozen. Okay, you can do that. You just click on the element that you want to bring over, go up to the top, and play around with the different colors that you want to see on the element that you chose. Very fun. Okay, and then some you can't, and you just can't. There are ways around it, but it gets into working with like SVGs, and you have to like transfer it into another program and like transfer the file and take apart the layers. And it's not that hard, but it's definitely next level. But if you do want to know how to do that, you can just message me. I actually have a TikTok video I think I made on that topic, so I can send it to you. Okay, so now we are done with elements. The next one over is uploads. It kind of speaks for itself. It's like where I would find my things that I've uploaded that I want to use on a graphic. I like this sometimes. I'll put just random like Pinterest finds in here like this, and I'll bring it to my screen because I can get colors from it. So if I bring it to my screen, this is a little more advanced, but I like this, so I'll show you. We're going to click back on that back layer, go back up to the colors, and it's going to show you the colors from the photo. It'll do it for any photo you put on the screen. So sometimes if I'm trying to get quick inspo, I'll do that instead of going over to like that hex code finder on Safari. So kind of fun. It doesn't give you all the colors, but it gives you like the general colors of what it thinks would be best. So that's what I do. And then again, just that's where my uploads are. So if I'm working with something, I can bring it over. The next one is going to be text. So this is where you get the text on your screen. Scrolling down, these are like the text, like font combos. You can like find things for like a menu down here I've seen. So if you own a restaurant, you can do like a little menu and like change the fonts and add in your own words to it. So honestly, I never use anything down here, but they are there. So if you want to find a font combo, like style grouping that you think looks good and use it, by all means, grab it. You can change anything that you see. Any letter here, you can change it. Anything. Like this isn't like Elements where you can't change the words. Like this, you change it all. Okay, going back up to the top, the part you will use. This right here, you won't have. This is a brand or a pro feature. It's like your branded fonts. So I have these set up specifically because they're the ones I use the most often. Above it is add a text box. This is basically all you're going to need in this text section, where it's all I use. Okay, so you click that, bring it to the screen. It's going to show you, it's going to like have its font set up on, again, like Canva's basic font. I don't even remember what it is at this point, but you can come in here and you can see all of the fonts that you've uploaded, and then it gets into the Canva fonts. Now, Canva has great fonts. You don't even need to go and upload other fonts. I do because I do this like full time for a living. But if you are just like coming in to create your own content and you just like want to start easy, Canva's fonts are great. Not all are free. Again, that little crown's going to tell you if it's pro or if it's a free version. But if you scroll through here, you're going to find tons and tons of great fonts, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. Up here, the search bar. This is fun. I like to go in here often. I go in and I type the font I'm looking for, and it gives me fonts based on like the style or genre of what it is that I'm looking for. So type this in and look at all of these. There's free and there's paid. These are all like, in their eyes, a groovy style font. This is where I find a lot of my fonts, because I don't have time to just scroll through all those fonts every day to try to find a font to use. It's fun. If I had more time, I would do it, but I don't. So I like to go and type in style types, and then it'll give that to me. So if you're looking for something more modern, maybe that's your style, you type that in and it's going to give you the ones with like the super straight lines, the sharp edges, stuff like that. So you can find that. If you're looking, we just had Christmas. So you can type that in, you can find fonts for that. We have Valentine's Day coming up. So I would type in cursive. You could even do like handwriting. It's going to show you fonts that look like they're handwritten, because that obviously for like a Valentine's Day style, you would want to write a card if you're writing it to someone, and you'd want it to look like it's your font. So you can go and look up, the handwritten. So this is a really good tool to know about, to be able to search the different font styles. Yeah. The next thing over is going to be the font size. I don't honestly use this too much I don't use this too much. I normally just like take the corners and drag it to where I want it to fit on the screen. If I'm trying to bring it down just a tiny bit, maybe I'll do it like that. But again, I normally do these little like corners. Okay, now, next one, color, same as the Elements. Just click on it, choose the color that you want. Now you have bold, italicize, and underline. Again, I call this that Microsoft toolbar. These speak for itself. If they're grayed out and you have like that circle with the line through it, that means that you can't bold or italicize. Normally on like those cursive fonts, or the ones if you upload them on your own, this is going to pop up because you can't bold and italicize like the cursive ones. But if you just have like a regular one, like this one lets you italicize and underline. This one lets you bold, no italicize. This one lets you bold and underline. So like each one is kind of different, Majority of them you can bold and italicize. Obviously, what I'm showing you is not the truth to that. But in what I've worked with, I have seen that most of them, you can do all of them. And I guess not today. Today is not that day. But you can go through and see if you can bold and italicize and underline them. The next thing is going to be the AA. If you click this, it makes everything on your screen uppercase just quickly. You know, you can play around with different uppercase, lowercase styles for like a title or the body of what you're working with. And then this self-explanatory, it's the the alignment, left, center, right. And then this is bullet points or numbers. Now this one is kind of cool. This one actually gives you like spacing. This is I normally teach this part in my Canva level 2, but we're here and I'm just doing it. This line spacing, I'm not going to get too far into it, but if you want to know how to space your lines apart, it's more like people would do this because it's like visually appealing in certain instances. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's not, but sometimes it is. Maybe like the regular one that you see right here is too far apart for you. You could just kind of tighten it up a bit. Letter spacing is the same thing. If you want your letters to be farther apart or closer together, I can't talk today. You just drag it under letter spacing and that's where you can play with that. And we're not going over anchored text box. The next one is effects. This is a level 2 item, but I'm just showing you that it's there. You can kind of mess around and like add different cool effects to your screen. You can even curve your font. The next thing is animate. Wait, let me get out of this effect. I don't want that. Animate, this is another level, but this is where you could come and make whatever is on your screen, have an animation to it, and it turns it into a video. The next thing down is project. So this is kind of fun if you're like working on another project and you're like, wait, I love that one element on whatever flyer I made, but I can't find it in the search bar. You can come here and open up that element so you can like bring it onto this screen, which is fun, at least for me. The starred. This is not going to pop up on your screen unless you have starred elements. So let me show you really quick what that means. So these are going to be like your favorite elements that you use over and over. Under elements, you can go whatever graphic it is. And if you have a graphic or an element on the screen, you come up here to this little circle with an eye, and you're going to hit star. And then it's going to go and make a starred folder. So it's only going to show up if you've done this before. And these are going to be like either your most frequently used elements or the ones that you might like have an idea to use in the future. That's normally what I save them for. But I don't want to save this one, so I'm going to unstar it. Now, okay, that's starred. Now we don't have QR codes. That is just showing up on mine. When you use like the apps that I was telling you about, like those add-on, what do they call them? Apps? Yeah, apps. When they use like when I use add-on apps, it's going to show up on my toolbar over here. So if you see things you don't have, it's because I use this often. And when I use things over and over, it just kind of sticks on my toolbar. If you want things taken off, you can just like hover over and click it for like the extras. But yeah, I use these too often to want to get rid of them. The next thing is logos. You probably don't see it, but again, this is a pro feature. If you do want to have your logos on here, this is where they will show up. My stomach is growling. I'm so sorry. So loud. This is where they'll show up, and then you can easily just like click it and bring it onto the screen. Then we have apps, like I talked about on that very front page. This is where you find them in here. Now, this is getting a little bit more difficult, but I'm still going to just tell you what they are. And if you want to come to another class, I'll get more into it, or you can kind of mess around and look into them on your own. They're pretty like self-explanatory because it normally has like the title and then it tells you what it does below. It'll tell you like these trending ones right here. Then you have, this is like an Illustrator, like a little emoji guy they just made. I love Draw Beta. That's a fun one. You can do like QR codes. I just had that up on my side. This is popular. You can enter whatever URL you want. and then it makes you a QR code and you can change the colors of it. And then it stays there forever. It doesn't like delete. You don't have to pay for it. In my experience making QR codes before they had this feature, I would go to like qrcode.com, freeqrcode.com. And then I would make it and then someone would use it. And after like 10 clicks, they would be like, okay, everyone's saying it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, well, now you have to pay for it. And I hate that. I think that's just lame when it's such an easy feature to have for free. So again, QR code, you can go in there and use that. And there's just tons of different things. So just kind of scroll through here, see what you like that you'd want to add on. Dropbox might be a good one if you have a lot of your content in there, or like images that you use. That's pretty much it. I'll show you this fun one. It's text to image. This is brand new. This is like the AI feature. It's very silly. I have personally never used anything from it on a graphic. I think one day in the future, I'm going to go with, we probably will all be using this, but as of right now in its beginning stages, it's wild. So I'm going to come up with something random. I'm going to say margarita, because I want one right now, and my stomach is growling for one, on a surfboard in space. Okay. I came up with that on the top of my head. That's not something that is just in there. Now you hit go and it's going to show you, I hit surprise me. I'm sorry, I missed that step, but you can do it after. And it's going to show you like different ways it would take that text and make it into an image. They've been pretty wonky. I've had some turn out okay, but like nothing I would just use. Like, what is that? Okay. Margarita. Did I spell it wrong? Why is it showing like humans? Oh, nah, didn't get it. Thought I did. This is just for fun. What is the last one gonna be? So see, it's very silly, but the way the world is headed, everything's going to be AI very soon. So yeah, none of these are what I was talking about. Maybe this one, not really though, but it's just like a fun, stupid thing that you can do. So if you wanted to try that, that's what that is. Everything else on here, you kind of, again, read through it and see if it's something you want to do. So, okay, at this point, I am done teaching you the basics. Do you have questions? I know that was like information overload. This is recorded. You will get a copy after. I'm going to put it into my YouTube and then I'll send you the link. Questions? Anyone? If you don't have questions, I would be like, either I did something great or it was just too much. So confusing, because I feel like it's probably confusing. No? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining me today. I appreciate it. Let's see. It's a lot. I'll have to rewatch. Definitely rewatch. If you guys have questions in the future, email me, message me on Instagram, and I will help you as best I can. Yes. Excited to have this as a resource to keep coming back to. Yeah. That's why I like to record it. Cause like, you know, it's a lot of information, but you can keep coming back and like finding things to learn over and over. All right. Thanks guys. I will see you guys at my next class. I'm going to do a Canva level 2. I want to say it's next week. And if not, it's a week after, but I'll send it in the link if you guys are interested in learning more, but thank you. Have a good day.